you give us a bit of background into when you were in India before you moved to Bordeaux? Did you have much exposure to wine?
India is largely a spirits dominated country. I tasted my first wine in 2004. It was a very unique experience because largely, there was beer around and spirits around. Wine was something which was not too heard of, and it wasn't a regular drink to be consumed. But I don't know how, I just, I had moved to Bangalore for my second job, and Bangalore is a city which is a little advanced on the wine culture, and I happened to taste wine and I was very intrigued and I just loved the experience. And then actually I decided to join a wine society. There used to be a wine society in India where they used to actually every quarter they used to get best of 6 bottles from around the world for us to taste. As I was tasting, or rather drinking at that time, it was very intriguing and it was very exciting. But actually, my job has been instrumental in kind of immersing me more towards wine because I have been traveling extensively to Europe and UK and also the Asian countries. And while I was traveling, I was, along with my work, I was also taking my free time to explore wine. So finally, I think that was my exposure. And obviously, today when I am a Master of Wine student, I understand the falls or the storage temperature differentiation which used to be there in India, and I used to feel that something is wrong with the wine. I should not understand that it's a fault because obviously we had no clue about it. But I think it was a journey of experience of me tasting, and then finally now immersing in education and also the business of wine. But to be honest, the professional journey started in 2018.
With that professional journey beginning in 2018, was there one particular moment that you can recall that made you think wine is what I want to do?
Actually, it was a decision before 2018. I was contemplating from almost 2016 because 2016 I had come to Bordeaux and Saint Emilion for just a small trip by myself, and I just loved it. And I was thinking, but the harsh reality was I had to also look at my bank balance. That am I ready? That if I want to take a disruptive step of leaving my very successful career. I was very at the peak of my fashion career, corporate career. I was in London, in fact, in 2017, and we used to work with a Philip Green Arcadia group because it was my project to launch Dorothy Perkins in India. And while we were doing that, I realized that, I think it's time. Things led to things, and I applied to 2 schools in Bordeaux because rest of the schools I thought was more sommelier led, and I wanted to be more business and marketing led. I had the offer letter in March, and it was staring on my face that now it's time to decide whether I'm going to Bordeaux or not. I've also always been known to actually take disruptive steps and not only just take it but see it through because back in 1999 when I started studying fashion, it wasn't a conventional choice in India. It was way ahead of times. But yes, I never thought that, it'll lead to a WSET or a Master of Wine. I thought after an 18 years career, I'll go and maybe slow down, learn wine, chill with it. But then I think the kind of person I am, I completely pushed myself into things and then I decided no. If I have landed and I have jumped into the ocean, I have to swim. And therefore, let's go ahead and do the MW program.
I can well believe that from the interactions we've had in Amrita. You don't do anything by half measures. So yeah, so you moved to Bordeaux and you did the KEDGE MSc, and then you mentioned after that it made you think about the Master of Wine. So all of that said, my question would be, how did you first hear about the Gérard Basset Foundation?
I think the first time I heard about the Gérard Basset Foundation was while I was at KEDGE Business School in 2018 when the unfortunate demise of Gérard happened. I was in the school that time, and because he was an alumni of the KEDGE Business School MSc program, we had our respect which we gave to him. I was intrigued about it because I was learning a lot of things about wine, and then I realized that he is the most decorated professional ever in the wine and the beverage world. I continued with my journey of studies and parallelly creating my business projects. In 2021, I finished my diploma. Jeremy Kukuman, Master of Wine, who's the director of the MSc program, the KEDGE Wine School, he's my guide and a mentor and a very dear friend. I was having a conversation with him in Wine Paris in 2022. So he said, "What's your next step?" And I said, "Next step, I definitely want to do the MW program, but maybe I apply in 2024. But he said, no, I think is this the right time for you to apply because you just come out of the diploma and you finished it. And I think you should go ahead and apply. And I think somewhere he could also maybe read that I'm also thinking about how do I go about funding the program and, stuff like that. Because whatever I had earned in my past career, I invested in setting up my space in Bordeaux, investing in education, investing in my businesses. So that was a huge chunk which I already invested in because I was relatively new to the industry. I was not also getting that kind of revenue or everything was on the base. So he actually in March 2022 he sent me an email and it had details about the Taylor Sports Scholarship, and he sent me and he said, "Why don't you apply for this?" And I read, and I was intrigued, and I was very excited, and I did apply for it. And in 2022, thanks to the Gérard Basset Foundation, I won the Wine Scholar Guild scholarship to study for the Italian Wine Scholar. But I don't know, somewhere I felt that I have to, maybe give another shot. And I went ahead and I continued my stage one program. And also, actually, it was very kind of the foundation to fund my entrance exam fee. And I told Jeremy that I want to reapply, and he said you should check with them. And so that's why I checked with Romani whether I could reapply. And he said that you must reapply, and obviously, we encourage people to reapply. And then I reapplied, and yes, here I am. I won the scholarship.
Well, congratulations. It was very well deserved, Amrita. That's what I can say. And I remember the first time you applied in 2022 when you were emailing me about the entrance exam and how that would work. I was visiting KEDGE in Paris while you were emailing me, so it was all very cyclical. And I met Jeremy that day. But what impact has your Taylor Sports scholarship had on you?
In 2019, as I told you, that I had heard about the Gérard Basset Foundation, about Gérard Basset and then subsequently the foundation. Little did I know that his legacy and Nina and Romani would help me to actually achieve one of my biggest dream, which is to get that coveted title of Master of Wine. This is a brilliantly structured scholarship. It has not only funding, but it has impressive internship opportunities across the world. And then obviously being able to mentor by the best in the industry, to have an access to Nina Basset, to have an access to Jancis Robinson, to have an access to many of the iconic figures, which is one. But on the other side also, whenever I have approached the foundation, even before I send a mail, I get a response, and I have been I have been hugely supported and hugely. So I think it's like being part of a family, and that's very important because there have been many scholarships, and I know of people who've won many scholarships, and I myself seen many of the friends doing that. But this is a unique scholarship. It's not just I'm saying because I have won it and I'm one of the winners, but I really genuinely feel it because it's creating a large community of like minded people who actually want to focus on learning, growth, collective growth, and shape the wine industry, bring in more diversity. So I think it's not just a scholarship which has a funding or some benefits to it. It's a holistic transformation. I think I'm very fortunate to be part of this, and again, huge thanks to Taylor Sport and Golden Wines and Gérard Basset Foundation and Nina, Romani, everybody to actually help me get this scholarship. So thank you.
So delighted that what you said about it feeling like a family, that's very touching because that's definitely what we sort of intend to foster.
No, and I'm not saying, and I think Nina also knows it because I've recently met her in Monaco and a couple of times, and I've spoken to you so many times. I genuinely feel that it is a large family and it is so inclusive. We all are made to feel an integral part of it. And even when the 3 days in Paris, it's called the Oscars of wine, but I also feel that I saw a huge human side of it, where you have not only the best of the West from across the world, but there is so much of human touch and you are so inclusive. So I think that's a differentiation. So because yes, funding is very crucial, and it was very crucial at the stage where I am because I invested everything, as I mentioned. But it brought me a platform to connect with a larger audience on wine. The impact has also been that the scholars have are from various diverse fields, from various countries, with various experiences, and just talking to them itself is actually improvising and gaining knowledge. What happens is that you're a part of the community. I think I see the same similarity in the Master of Wine community as the Gérard Basset Foundation Scholars community, because in the Master of Wine program also you connect with people from diverse worlds who are doing diverse things. Similarly, all the scholars, I think it's very handpicked and the quality is impeccable. I mean, I've interacted with most of them, and I feel that it's a community where we feel that we belong to. As I mentioned, it's a large family. You feel that you are under that umbrella of the Gérard Basset Foundation. So I think it's a very unique curation of people from across the world, which actually, as we go along, is happening. So I'm very proud and happy to be part of that large community.
Now, the question I've been burning to ask about. So, you have been instrumental in getting India's Sommelier Association set up and affiliated with the International Sommelier Association. Could you please tell us how you set up the Indian Sommelier Association and what it means to be associated with that international sommelier community?
The essence of being a top sommelier exists in many Indians who really want to aspire and become a top sommelier in the world. The hospitality and the humility and the service in India is impeccable. That is whether it is food or whether it is any kind of beverage, because as a sommelier, you're not only restricted to wine but anything beverage. The interesting part was that in 2023, I was in Paris for the Best Sommelier of the World Championship. Interestingly, I saw so many sommeliers walking from Asia, and they were representing obviously Japan and China and Thailand and Taiwan, Hong Kong. But I felt that India is a very large force in Asia, and it has 1.4 billion people, and there's huge potential. And I realized that there is no representation from India. And we looked at whether there is a sommelier association affiliated with the ASI, but there was not. And again, as I said, that the scholarship opportunity has not only given me scholarship, but we spoke to Nina Basset and Romani Basset. And I think Nina was hugely instrumental in connecting me to Psycho, who is the Vice President of Asia at ASI. Again, the foundation comes into play because Nina has been a huge support, and even till date, she's been hugely supporting in all the initiatives I have been taking up. So I actually connected with Psycho and obviously their legal head. They said that a couple of times there have been an inquiry, but nobody's actually gone ahead and kind of met our requirements. So we not only created the Sommelier Association of India, but also at the onset, and we met all the requirements. We were invited to Monaco, the General Assembly in February, and I presented in front of the ASI board and the presidents of over 65 countries, and we were unanimously voted to be part of the ASI. So it was a huge moment for us. Within 1 year's time of thinking and executing that we have the Sommelier Association of India. Our first step is to make people understand the role of a sommelier. There is a bartender, there's waiters, and everything is overlapped. And it's for any new country, it's the same story. So right now we are at the launch stage where we have created our website, our social media. We are in the background creating partnerships, collaborations, and we have list of almost 500 plus sommeliers. So we've created that entire list, and now we are at the launch phase where we will be probably launching in 1 month or 2 months time, and the membership, getting the ASI diploma as well to India. Obviously, officially doing the best sommelier of India, and then that chosen candidate will represent Asia in 2025. Sorry, we'll go to Asia Championship in 2025. So it's a huge responsibility because everything is starting and there is no background or base or benchmark. Yes, there is international benchmark, but India is a unique country. It has 28 states and 8 union territories and diversified language and culture. So that's the idea, to make sure that we don't want to rush because we want to do things right. And therefore, we are partnering with the right people. We are partnering with people who are passionate, who believe in the same thought process of bringing education, making it accessible, making it more realistic for people, and not, a true essence of a non-profit organization.
Sounds very exciting. Well, as I said, please keep us posted on how it goes, and I'll look forward to seeing you at.
You have to be an integral part of it. You have to come with me to India.
Oh, one day, would love to do that. Would absolutely love to do that.